All right, let's play this video. Sadly, and to be honest, I haven't watched that much of the news as of late. And by as of late, I mean like in the last 36 hours. But largely, the story of Puerto Rico is off the front pages and off the lead stories of the news. And the thing is, it's going to get even worse now because you still have 1 million people without clean drinking water. You still have 75% of the island without electricity, maybe more. And you're going to hear problems like this, and it's going to get worse. It's going to get much worse, I think, I'm afraid. Here is and good for at least CBS for having a reporter down there. And this guy, David Begnaud, I think has been pretty good, actually. He's with the Puerto Rican governor, Ricardo Rossello, and they are talking about what I think is going to be which is a nascent problem, but I think it's going to be huge. I don't know if it's going to come from this particular bacteria, but it's going to be huge.
The governor is updating us on the death toll. It has gone from 43 to 45. The two most recent deaths are believed to be from a bacterial infection known as leptospirosis. What do you know, Governor?
Well, we just got information as we were doing our tour that there were 2 deaths from Bayamón. They are taken to the forensic center right now to analyze, but based on the clinical framework, they believe to be from the bacteria.
How do you believe these people contracted it?
Well, again, it's typically contracted by some contact with urine from rodents or animals that have the bacteria, and it spreads that way, whether it be through eye sockets or drinking water or something to that effect.
So this, I mean, it's not hard to imagine. And I think he goes on to say there were 5 more cases that were confirmed with people with the disease, but they're getting treatment. But I don't know how much treatment they're going to be able to give as these things start to happen. When you're living in these circumstances where there's no hygiene going on because you're still just climbing out of like this disaster. Yesterday we played that video of those, I guess, dozen vets who are over there trying to help with the relief services. And they're saying there's just no supplies are getting up into the western part of the country. And meanwhile, Mark Zuckerberg has apologized for the, I don't know what I would call it, stunt. They live streamed a virtual trip to Puerto Rico by using 360-degree video from NPR, which, that showed behind them a flooded streets. And apparently Facebook Spaces app lets you create a 3D avatar. I remember when there was Virtual Life or Second Life or whatever it was. And it was, fine. But this was grotesque. He has apologized. Here's a picture of Mark and his co-host Rachel high-fiving each other. Apparently not subject to rodent feces in virtual life. Here is his apology. And it's clear that he doesn't get it. My goal here was to show how virtual reality can raise awareness and help us see what's happening in different parts of the world. I want you to contemplate something. The guy is apologizing and saying, my point was to exploit the horror and the tragedy of what's going on in Puerto Rico to promote this technology, which I also have an app for. But then he goes on to say, to be fair, I also wanted to share the news of our partnership with the Red Cross to help with recovery. Reading some of the comments, I realized this wasn't clear, and I'm sorry to anyone this offended. The guy controls the most used social media tool in the country. And he wants us to believe that he has no other means in which to promote the partnership with Red Cross. I mean, put aside the idea of partnering with the Red Cross, which is sort of perfect. But he doesn't even get in his apology. It's just amazing. But it was, in their words, a magical tour of Puerto Rico. You know what was amazing? We toured Puerto Rico. We didn't get any rat feces in our eyes.
Do you think he's setting himself up to do something political here, or is he trying to?
Oh, I think he is definitely toying with the idea of running.
I suspect
There is no doubt in my mind.
I suspect that either he's thinking he's running or he understands the way history's going to go with how much power they've given him over like something like communications network, and he's going to need to be set up politically for whatever fight is coming there.
That could be it too. I think it's, I think in this situation, you're just like, there's no opportunity cost for me to do this. There's no opportunity cost.
I mean, the amount that he's getting smacked down and clowned on every time he tries to do anything is kind of restoring my faith in liberals and people in general.
Yes. No, it's definitely helpful because he would run as a Democrat. But again, there's just like huge swaths of, there's huge swaths of people who don't get their politics from Twitter and Facebook. And it's very easy to sort of like make an assessment based upon what we see on social media and be way off.
I noticed the likes on this video way outnumbered the angry faces, for instance.
I also bet that they have a mechanism in which to juice that.
Show it to the people who have been liking our
I mean,
Periscope.
honestly, like just, I want you to just think of the people who are doing this live stream and they're looking at each other and going like, we're going to want to get a lot of likes on this, right? Yeah.
We're all going to regret this someday when he uses Facebook to become president for life.
No kidding. I already regret Facebook.
Zuckerberg Cuban.
Zuckerberg is great. I was just kidding before.
Joy. Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos